So breaking news this morning, suspended ANC Secretary-General Ace Magashule has served Luthuli House with court papers challenging the constitutionality of the step-aside resolution that resulted in his suspension. Let's get the very latest now, bring in our SABC senior political reporter via Skype, Samkele Maseko. Brother Maseko, thank you very much indeed for coming on. Look, in that interview that you did with Mr. Magashule, he said, give me my legal rights, give me my organizational rights. Rights enshrined in the constitution of the ANC and the constitution of this country. So, was this expected?
Essentially, this was expected, but in a way that it was expected. It wasn't expected in a fashion where the Secretary-General himself would be the one who's going to the South Gauteng High Court challenging the African National Congress. We expected it to be one of the branch secretaries or one of the ANC members in the Fezile-Dabi region of the Eastern Cape, where he hails from in Parys. You'd remember that Vegan Poisons, the deputy coordinator of that particular regional task team, had said that they would simply interdict the National Executive Committee of the ANC if it took a decision to essentially force Magashule to step aside, or if it took a decision to suspend the Secretary-General if he had failed to step aside within 30 days.
Yeah. So if this fashion, as you want to put it, was not expected, what does that say about the state of play within the ANC?
It essentially means that, this is the first time since the dawn of democracy that a sitting official of the governing party has taken the ANC to the courts to set aside one of the decisions that has been taken by the governing party. If you look at the events of 2015 in KwaZulu-Natal, when Senzo Mchunu lost against Sihle Zikalala and when Hlakani Pontombela lost against Super Zuma for the ANC leadership in the province, they personally didn't take the ANC to court. It was branch members in Abakulusi region, in eThekwini region, that decided to take the ANC to court. It wasn't those particular individuals themselves. If you look at the Mpo Ramakata judgment of the ANC in the Constitutional Court, it was ANC branch leaders who had decided to take the organization to court. So it's pretty much unprecedented that you've got a sitting official of the governing party going to court himself, challenging the constitutionality of an ANC 2017 conference resolution that was taken at that particular conference, where he was a delegate at that conference. Questions also arise whether he was a voting delegate or a non-voting delegate, on the virtue that the Free State 2017 conference in Parys had been nullified by the courts, and Ace Magashule went to that conference as that PEC basically as non-voting delegates. So it essentially tells you and exacerbates the tensions within the governing party that now you've got a sitting official who's challenging the governing party in courts of law for the first time since the unbanning of the party and since the 1991 conference in KwaZulu-Natal. They used to have a slogan that once you take the ANC to court, that's an automatic expulsion. One also questions if that resolution or that particular decision by the NEC still sticks.
So what these latest developments, what does it mean in terms of that public apology request to the ANC structures?
Essentially, that public apology is no longer coming. It would be interesting if that public apology ever comes. For instance, if you read the court papers and that particular indictment letter that was sent to the High Court by Mabuza attorneys, it stipulates that they want the suspension of President Cyril Ramaphosa, which was issued by the SG, to be enforced by the court and to stick, and for Ramaphosa, the president of the ANC, to remain suspended, in the words of Ace Magashule, until a decision is made by the courts to say that decision is now null and void. But they just want that particular decision that was taken by the SG to suspend the president to stick, which basically tells you that the president will not be receiving any apology, or the ANC structures will be not receiving any apology from the suspended Secretary-General of the African National Congress, as he has sharpened contradictions by basically going to the courts now as an arbiter to make sure that his suspension of the ANC president is enforced, and that essentially he does not have to apologize to the ANC structures and the ANC president, which would mean that apology that we are waiting for is not coming. You saw him. He is trying to be Floyd Mayweather light yesterday by having that shadow boxing event with those light punches there in the gym yesterday.
Look, I'm curious to see where this goes in terms of the way forward. What are political pundits saying? What are commentators saying in terms of the possible political scenarios that are likely to play out following these legal challenges?
Essentially, you had Professor Mcebisi Lejana was saying the ANC was playing very nice with Ace Magashule. They should have gone for the jugular in that NEC meeting and went for expulsion instead of saying no, apologize first, instead of having this long protracted approach of trying to essentially counsel Ace Magashule in showing to that he may be repentant in his moves of trying to divide and further plunge the ANC into a crisis. But they essentially want to have that discussion with him. But it seems as if it may be backfiring now with the SG deciding to take the ANC to court. In the visuals, you may see a little young chap trying to show his face on TV at this point in time.
Bring him on.
But the ANC is essentially at a crossroads.
All right, we'll let you get to daddy duties. Samkele Maseko there live for us, giving us the latest with regards to this story. We'll no doubt be following up in the next 3 hours or so. So keep it locked on to SABC News. In other news, the Health Ministry says the death toll from COVID-19 has surpassed 55,000, with another 44 people dying from the disease in the latest reporting period. The ministry also recorded over 3,000 new coronavirus cases. It's the first time in more than